Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to restring your guitar, keep it lovely and in tune and sounding fabulous. Now I have a standard dreadnought guitar that has wound strings. If you have a bridge that's like this that has pins at the bottom, bonus. That's what we're going to learn today. If you have a nylon string guitar or maybe your strings are wrapped at the bottom, I'm not going to be very helpful to you. But if you have a standard dreadnought guitar that looks like this, then we're going to learn together. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing we're going to start out is with the tools that you're going to need. First thing you're going to need is this. It's a string winder. You want to get a strong string winder. Don't get the cheap ones because they will break on you. Another thing you're going to need is this. It is a standard wire cutter. These are great. A couple of things you don't need but I use is some guitar polish and a rag. And then of course you're going to want to get some sort of tuner. This is the one I use. It's a Sabine tuner and it sits on the guitar. So we're going to go ahead and get started. What we're going to start with is loosening the strings. I start with the lowest string and you're going to take your string winder, put it on the head, listen to the tone, make sure it's going down. Now some people are going to do several at a time, which is typically what I'll do is 3 at a time, but I'm just going to show you one. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this string so it's super loose at this end. And then I'm going to move the guitar up to here. And down here you have a pin. You see this pin right here? We're going to take this part of the string winder, this very end part has a little curve to it, and it fits right here into the pin. We're going to do that and loosen up this pin. See how easy that comes out with that? We're just going to pull it out. Just like that. So there's the pin. I'm going to set that aside real quick. And we're going to pull out the string. And we come back up here to the head. And we're going to unwrap the string. Just like that. Now I highly recommend for everyone in your family that you wrap this string up really quick and set it aside. Otherwise it might end up in a vacuum cleaner somewhere and everybody will be angry with you, and you don't need that. People angry with you is always a bad thing. So now we're going to look at how to put a new string on. I guess one of the important things I forgot to mention that you're going to need are strings. I use Diodario light strings. The reason I use light strings is because I play pretty heavy. So I use the lighter strings, but choose the ones that work best for you. I buy them in a multi-pack, so you can't really tell what they are here, but I'm going to go ahead and open them up and show them to you. They will show you on the outside of the pack the gauge of the string and also the color. So I'm going to pull them out and kind of let you take a look at them. So as you can see here, these are the strings, and if you'll notice on the head of each one, they have different colors. And as I mentioned on the pack, they tell you what each one is. That there's a silver, purple, green, black, red, and brass, and they tell you the gauge of each one, and that will determine where they go on the guitar. But we're also going to talk through that as well. So you can see the different colors, and these are on the Diodarios. Different brands may use different colors, so I can't guarantee that these are going to be the colors for the strings that you buy. But if you buy the same ones that I just purchased, that's what you're going to end up with. So the first one we're going to start out with, because it tells us to on the pack, is going to be the brass E6. So we're going to pull out our really fat one, which is going to be the brass one. Now they double wrap these together, so I've got 2 together that I've got to pull apart. So I'm going to do that. Have a lot of fun doing that. And then I'm going to end up with this brass one. So we're going to start with the brass one and we're going to put that one on our guitar. Isn't this exciting? Okay, so here we are sitting with this brass wound string. And one of the first things I do is I put a little bend right here at the end. And that's going to help me to lock this string when I put the pin in. Now if you remember, we pulled out our pin at the bottom. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this string and we're going to put it in the hole where we took out the last one, just like this. And we're going to take the pin, and you see there's a groove in this pin. I don't know, it's not focusing very well, but there's a groove in my pin. And I'm going to set this string in where the groove is. So we're going to put this in here, and the groove is going to sit where the string is coming out. I'm going to push that in, and we're going to push the pin in just like that. So the string is coming out here, and it's not going to come out because I put that little bend in the string. Now we're going to bring the string back up here to the head, and we're going to feed it through the hole. If I can find the hole, there it is. Now we've got to leave enough slack so that we can wrap this string around the head at least, well, 3 times. You do not want to over wrap the string on the head, so you do not want to wrap it 4, 5, or 6 times, because it's going to then start wrapping around itself and you're not going to get the right amount of tension. What I typically do is I put my hand on the guitar and I spread my hand like this, and then I pull the string so that it's lightly laying on my hand, and that usually for the lower E string, that's usually going to give me enough tension right there so that it's going to wrap around 3 times. Now what I'm going to do up here at the head is I'm going to put a kink right here in the string by bending it like that. And there's a little bit of a trick here. When I go to start winding the string, I need to make sure that I keep tension on here so that this doesn't slip. So I put my finger right here and I keep this sitting upright while I put this string winder on the key. And now you want to make sure that you wrap the string so that it is coming straight this way. I'll show you how we're going to wrap it. Notice how I'm winding. We want the string to come in, and I'm going to keep this so that this is facing straight up. And we want the string to come in, not go out. All right, so I'm keeping this finger here, and I'm winding the string so that it's facing in. Always keeping my finger on the string to guide it. And with the amount of excess that I used, my string should wrap 2 to 3 times. No more. You do not want to wrap the string more than 2 to 3 times. And I'm starting to get some tension. So I can take my finger off, and we've got it wrapped perfectly 3 times. Now sometimes down here, this will start to pop, and it is a little bit, so I'm going to give it a gentle push. So you want to keep an eye on that, make sure that that stays down. And I'm also going to give a tug on this just to give some tension on the string again and push on that. And this helps to stretch out a new string. So we're going to just kind of pull on it just gently. You're not going to want to yank on it. And then I'm going to continue to wind this till it's around in tune, which is going to be an octave lower than this. And that's how we put on a new string. And we're going to do the same thing for the other strings, but as we get farther up, we need to give a little bit more slack in order to have a 2 to 3 wrap. Now I don't want this thing to be flopping in my way, so that's where my wire cutters are going to come in handy, and I'm just going to go ahead and slide it right here, being very careful that I'm only cutting the top of the string. Give it a good clip, and that's it. Sometimes there have been times when I accidentally cut a string, and I didn't just cut the top of this string, but I cut another string, and it was a big mess. So be careful that you're just cutting off the top of the excess of your string. All right, now we'll go ahead and do our second string, and I'll show you want to give a little bit more slack because you've got that much more space. So it's not just going to be this much slack, but you're going to give just a little bit more so that you make sure to wrap this string at least 2 to 3 times. No more, okay? And no less, because if you only wrap it 1 time, then you don't have enough tension on that string. So 2 to 3 times on a string. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap another one.